Hi everybody, had this Epiphone 339 into the workshop today, so I thought we'd have a quick look at this one together because I think it's quite an interesting guitar. I don't see very many of these come into the workshop. Now the 339 is the sort of baby brother to the 335. The body's a little bit smaller, a little bit more manageable if you're like me and I don't like a big guitar like that. And this one, the Epiphone 339, is made in Qingdao in China. I believe that's roughly how you say it. And this one is from about 2013 and has this rather unusual finish. Now, I don't know how well you can see that, but it's a full finish, but it kind of looks like it isn't. So it's got almost like a textured under to the clear top overcoat. So you can see all the grain on the guitar, yet with this rather unusual sort of turquoisey green finish. And it's fitted with, unusually as well for Epiphone, coil taps. So let's have a proper rundown of what's actually on this axe. The first thing we can look at here is these tuning heads. Now these are the Grover Deluxe tuning head. They're basically, I suppose, a copy of a Kluson, 1950s or 1960s Kluson. They're actually in very good condition. They've lasted very well over the 10 or so years, almost 10 years this has been around. And I have to say I see quite a lot of Grovers come in on the Epiphones, and they're usually very, very good. A very, very solid tuner at this price point. It's fitted with a plastic nut, which was okay, but just needed a little bit of filing out to get the action to where it should have been. The frets are your standard Epiphone frets. Now it means they're a very round fret, very un-Gibson-like, and laid over the top of the binding. Nothing particularly wrong there. The fret ends are nicely finished off. There's nothing sharp there, though there were a couple of frets, I think, that are just a little bit too high, and they had to be looked at rather than just got around with the setup. Moving down the guitar, we've obviously got two of Epiphone's pickups in here, and of course they are the 4-conductor ones because they're split coil, and standard three-way switch, standard layout for a 335 or a 339 type guitar. So what does it sound like? Clean setting down here, my Mark IV via the Helix, and in the clean channel, humbucker settings, both the coil taps in. Now with the coil taps out, they do get significantly thinner. And the neck pickup. Now, dirtying these up a little bit, basically, oops, wrong button, put them into channel 2. Okay, it's channel 2 of the same amp. And the single coil. And the neck pickup. And with the coil tap in. Once you add a bit more gain, they get significantly more mid-rangey. With that coil tap out again. And the neck pickup. And again with the coil tap out. Okay, so nothing too untoward there. I mean, they sound pretty good. They're not very exciting in terms of the top end of the pickup, but actually they've got a pretty even and balanced tone. The neck pickup and the bridge pickup seem to be okay together. They work well as a pair. So what else can we say about this guitar, really? Okay, well, we're starting to see a little bit of tarnish, pickup covers and things like that. Nothing unusual from 10 years of use, or 9 years of use in this case. I was a little surprised at the bridge. It wasn't actually cut very well. I have had to work on that to get that right. And the other thing I'd say about this is that the neck shape is a little bit unusual for something that's supposed to be sort of 335 in nature. Now, of course, the 335 to me generally seems to be a guitar, certainly very much of the late 50s and early 60s, and of course then you're talking about the slim taper necks, especially the early 60s ones, which seem to be the sort of ubiquitous across the Gibson model range. This is very D-shaped. The neck is a lot deeper. It's about 0.9 of an inch at the first fret and just under an inch at the 12th, but it's got a lot of shoulder. It's quite flat in the middle. Rather than the very sort of 60s, very round 60s shape. This is very like this, you know, you've got a big shoulder. And although it doesn't make it uncomfortable to me to play, it just feels a little bit unusual when you first put your hand around it. You're expecting maybe something slightly different. But all in all, it's a very, very playable guitar. Like I say, if I had any complaint about it at all, and this is probably when it first came out of the factory, was exactly the same. It could do with just a little bit of fretwork, and straight out of the factory again, I think this could have been cut just a little bit better, both of which are issues that I've kind of dealt with servicing this guitar. All in all though, I'm not sure I'm sold on the finish. What do you think? It's unusual anyway. Anyway, thanks for watching. See you next time.